Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Chaos Child. And okay, so I'm sure somebody has said this before, but again, I don't know if I've uploaded a couple parts, but we haven't gotten anywhere near like to this point. I'm busting my ass to get ahead. Okay, I'm just saying. But I looked, so there are bad endings. There's like five. It looked like I didn't look too much because I didn't want to spoil anything just in case. But there's like 4 route endings kind of with the other characters, and then I guess there's the true ending. But in each one of those like character kind of routes, there is at least 2 endings. Some of them there are multiple. So there are like bad endings, but the guide that I looked at was like they don't really add anything, but like who cares? We're going to play them all anyway because we do that. And I also noticed in there it said that the triggers do absolutely nothing, like the delusion triggers, the first run through of your game. So we're just doing the delusions for no fucking reason. They do nothing, apparently, right now. They will matter later, and it seems like, okay, when you're going down a character route, oh, you get the bad ending, do all the negative. But it might only be when it's in their route. I don't know if the earlier ones really do anything or not, but we'll do them all anyway. We're going to do them anyway. So that might be why it was off. Because it's like, it doesn't matter. Your first playthrough, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, so maybe they had it off because they're like, there's no point in like triggering delusions one way or another if it's not going to make a difference. But anyway, so that. And okay, so I didn't realize there were 2 intro segments to this game. Like, there's always like a theme song thing. And like, sometimes it plays while I'm like loading and stuff. And I had to like, I got everything set up, I kind of walked away, and then like a second one played, and I was like, what? And I think it might be the anime intro, because there's definitely like the characters are more anime than like static the way they are in the game, you know? So I was like, I wonder if that's the anime intro. I don't know, I haven't watched the anime because I don't want to spoil anything, right? But I also noticed, I'm like, well, this might be a little spoilery intro, thanks. It might be a little spoilery for you, but we're gonna go with it anyway. So we noticed in this, the last part, we talked about Senri, who was the girl we saw. We were calling her Amy, right? And she has like long pink pigtails or whatever. Or she look like it. She's in the intro, so I don't think she's dead. I was like, game, that's spoilery. You put this character clearly in the intro. I mean, there is one point where you see Taku standing there, and there's like 3 girls on either side of him, and I'm like, who's the 6th girl? Because we know, like, we got Sarika, we got Kurusu, we got Kazuki, we got Kunasato, we've got Arimura. Oh, actually, Senri would be that, but then also now we have what's her name? Yamazoe, or whatever her name is. That girl. Yuki? Is it Yuki? What's her name? What's her name? I don't know what her name is. Anyway, I forget her name. It starts, you know what I mean. The little girl. So that's actually 7. But, like, anyway. I was like, wait a minute. Who's the other? And then they show her later, and I'm like, that's girl with long pink pigtails, and that is not anyone we know. And interesting. So I wonder. I don't know. Or maybe it's just she. But I don't think she's dead is all I'm saying. Because, like, why would she have a character sprite? And, like, why would she be in the intro if she is not dead? So I'm just saying, I don't think she's dead. The intro also likes to show Kunasato with the sticker face, just like we saw her as that monster. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like we keep seeing her as evil in our delusions. So I'm just not really sure if she ain't a little evil. I don't know, game. I feel like your intro is a little spoilery, but so I spoiled it for you too. I'm just saying, we don't know, but I'm like, you see her in the thing. She's not on the cover art or anything, but you see her in the intro. That's kind of, just don't put her, that's game. What are you doing? Anyway. So I don't know. She might not be dead. I mean, Kunasato did say she's missing, so I feel like they kind of hinted that maybe she's not really dead. And it was like, well, I mean, nobody knows what happened to her, and sure, Kurusu thinks she's dead, but anyway. So we followed after Kunasato as fast as we could. Just like she said, if we got lost here, we'd be caught for sure. And who knew what would happen to us then? didn't know who was doing these experiments or why, but their victims were suffering horrible fates. As I ran, it felt as if their screams of rage were following me. Sorry. Throat's a little weird today. That's Sarah. That was me, and I was trying to change my voice. I can't go on anymore. Can't move. We followed Kunasato as fast as we could and then made it outside the hospital via a different route than before. Kunasato was sweating like a racehorse, and her breathing was heavy, but she'd never let her guard down for a second. Instead, she seemed to be looking around intently. We were at the back of the hospital. It seemed like the exit where they moved corpses from the morgue to the hearse. For that reason, there was a fence surrounding us that kept us hidden. Kunasato had evidently taken this fence into account in her escape plans from the start. What do we do now? I was too out of breath to speak, so Sarika spoke for me. The underground facility is probably in an uproar now. They'll find us soon. If you don't want to die, move. Let's go. We were almost at the rear gate to the hospital. She started to run toward it. We followed her with the last of our strength. There was a guard station there, but inside there were only 2 men asleep, heads pointed at the ceiling. The sleeping drug I used didn't last that long. If we don't doesn't. The sleeping drug I used doesn't last that long. If we don't hurry, they'll wake up. I frantically made my way through the guard station and finally got past the hospital's outer walls. We ran a little longer and found a van parked in a secluded spot. What's going on, Mio? Looks like you've got a crowd with you. Oh. Just said woman. It's Momose. A broad-shouldered woman looked up at us from the driver's seat. It was hard to tell how old she was. Her attitude and breathing made her look like an older person, but the mischievous grin on her face made her seem younger. Hey, us old people can be mischievous. What voice did I give? I keep forgetting Momose's voice. Anyway, so, did you find what we needed? Yes, even after all the victims it created, the experiment failed to complete the theory. I see. They found no reliable way to cause the Disords to manifest, so the Gigalomaniac experiments were deemed a failure. Well, that's just what we suspected. Gigolo what? And what was a Disord? Didn't she say something about that in the monitoring room? I did find an important source of information, though. The girl you have kidnapped? Okay, I was hoping that was it. Like, Kunasato opened the rear door and laid Yuki. Oh, Yuki. Yeah, it is Yuki. Yuki Amazoe on the back seat. Her? Actually, maybe it's Uki? Yeah, because the U would be U. But Uki is hard to say. U would be more like YU. But anyway, we're calling her Yuki, okay? Because it's just easier. Uki is hard for me. It just seems weird. I don't know. Plus, I'm so used to calling her Yuki now, anyway. I think she's a survivor of the experiments. I want to take her with us. That's... well, whatever. She can stay with us for a while. Thanks. Kunasato hadn't even dropped her attitude for Detective Shinjo, but now she was being polite. Just who was this woman? And who are these people? Your friends? No, of course not. I'll decide later if they're good for anything. If you can just take them to my place. She seemed to be referring to us, but what did she mean by good? She was arrogant as she was as arrogant as ever, and like usual, she was pissing me off. Roger, everyone get in, hurry. My voice is busted again, I don't know. Bird's being good today. He was screaming a little before, but now he's being, what you doing? You being good? See, you're not totally evil and nasty and awful every day. Some days you're nice. Like, now you're just cleaning yourself, being good. I just wanted to point that out. I'm not mean and nasty to him every day. It's just, he does this sometimes. More often when I'm recording than not, but. See? Hi. That's nice. You chirp nice? Yesterday was just a screaming day, I guess. Bad attitude day, because he didn't, even when I brought him back out, he was just like screaming. It's like, oh my god. It's like, good fucking lord. Both of you were being pains in the ass yesterday. Both of you. Well, for you, it was the day before yesterday. This one, who's just snuggled up on my shoulder being perfect little gentleman. A perfect little fluffy nugget. Making the gross screamy noises because you were trying to find your friend. I know. I was mean. I yelled at you. You're a bad bird. You make bad noises. But you do. I hate that noise. I hate that awful screamy noise you do. And you know better than to do what you haven't done in a long time. But now they're both being good. Now they're both perfect little lambs, aren't they? Assholes. Both fucking assholes. Her voice got a little sharper as she pointed to the middle seat in the back of the van. We could hear what sounded like a lot of yelling from the direction of the hospital. We quickly jumped inside and closed the door. Okay, so did she, like, bean Yuki over the head? Like, she grabbed her? Did she drug her? What the hell? Why is she, like, now quiet, being laid in the back and totally fine, not screaming for help? I don't remember that. Did she? I don't know. Kuno-san got in the front passenger seat. The van started quietly and headed off into the night. Thank God she has a van. Could you imagine if she had, like, a Mini Cooper or some shit? Like, it's fine. We're all friends. And this is it. Come in. That was a weird way to say it. I don't know. Anyway. Why are you staring? Get moving. Excuse me. Yeah, my throat's fucked up again. It's not nice to stare at people's homes. She's a bigger slob than I am. The bra in the corner. I saw the pile of clothes, but there's just like a bra laying there willy-nilly. Home? Is this your... That's right. Is there a problem? My trailer in the homeless park is nicer. It's just... I mean... The outside wasn't much better, but looking inside, it was hard to believe that there were still apartments this dumpy in Shibuya. We literally... I mean, we live in a trailer, thankfully, but, like, we basically live in a homeless park where people live in tents, and we're judging her. I'm just saying. We're like, dude, I know homeless people in tents that have nicer places than this. Oh, God, that's so shady. It's funny. The same was true of everything else in the room. Everything in the apartment was the cheapest kind you could buy. The only thing that was worth anything was the computer. Huh? When is it me? I pushed Ito out of the way and ran over to the computer. The monitor was still on. And the page there was one I'd seen many times. This is where we figure out. She's Kay. No! Shibuya News. And it wasn't the display version of the page that we'd seen so many times. The page was in the process of being edited. We're like... This is where she's like, yeah, and we're like, oh, I had such fantasies about you being beautiful and nice. You're beautiful and mean. At least she's beautiful. Anyway. No, wait, are you Kay? So that was it. Thought I'd heard her voice somewhere before. Her voice was just too different from the gentle Kay that we were used to hearing. But that voice was, without a doubt, Kay's. What? No, wait, seriously? You mean you're Kay? From Shibuya News? Ito was pretty excited too, it seemed. Of course he was. Kay was someone we both admired. Little voice crushes. She was the ultimate right-sider. Since even I admitted it, she had to be at the top of her class. I never thought I'd be able to meet her like this, though. But I can't say I'd ever imagined Kay having a weird personality like this. Kunosato, the girl who'd been insulting us the whole evening, was the same person as the gentle Kay that we knew from Shibuya News. Delusion smashed. Which was the real one? I didn't know. And why had Kay brought us to her room? I thought I remember her saying she'd decide if she could use us later. We're going positive with this one. I know exactly where this is going. He's like, we're gonna have an orgy now, and this, because he's a pervert, and this is gonna be funny. I looked over and saw something strange in the corner of the room. The best way to describe it would be to call it a sword. But I wasn't sure if most people who saw it would think that. That's funny, because in one of the intros, Like the anime one, he like has a sword at one point, and I'm like, it's just like a quick thing, and I'm like, wait, when did this become like? I'm like, huh? I was very confused, but now here it is. It might have been this one. Its design was complicated and, frankly, unrealistic. For some reason, looking at it made me feel uneasy. Made me feel really bad, actually. What was that? It's to kill people like you, with magical powers. If someone told me it was for cosplay, I'd probably believe them. Nothing else, it didn't match the image I had of the person in front of me. Not the Kay I knew from Shibuya News. I feel like if we went negative, she'd stab us with that sword, but I want to go positive and I want to see, like, the frickin' pervy shenanigans that ensue. Or the Kunisada who'd been swearing at me the whole night. Did she maybe have a third identity? Maybe she was a famous cosplayer. Oh! I can also see where this is going if he thinks of her as a cosplayer. Like, she's going to be wearing, like, a tiny little armor bikini and her boobs are going to be popping out. We're a pervert, remember? We're a teenage boy. It's understandable, so... I can't really make fun of him or be, like, a little, like, disturbed by it. He's a teenage boy. Or maybe she was a toy artisan who made life-size weapons. Maybe she was an otaku who collected swords like this. There's nothing wrong with being an otaku, okay? Either way, it felt like a bad idea to mention it. Best to just ignore it. Best to pretend I never saw it. And the negative delusion, absolutely. Miyashiro? Huh? Are you interested in that sword? Kunisado brought it up, and I was trying my hardest to ignore it. No, not really. I tried my best to laugh and avoid looking at it. Kunisada must have sensed what I was doing because she dropped the subject. Instead... So, you're the true augur after all. She whispered. What was going on? Why had she brought us here? The window started to rattle. Must have been the wind. The only thing I could see outside the window were the streetlights shining in the darkness. For some reason, I felt very anxious. And then it came without warning. There was a huge crash as the window shattered. This must be a positive one. A black ball landed in the center of the room. What's going on? I found you, Mio Kunisado. It was a tiny girl with glasses. I knew her face. She was the girl we'd seen at AH Tokyo General Hospital. Maybe the one we kidnapped? Did you forget that? She followed me? Now that I found you, all of you must die. I'll execution you all. Execution you all. That's I don't think that's how it works. You too, Miyashiro. Huh? For some reason, I didn't sound very worried. I was having trouble keeping up with the situation. I'm having trouble keeping up with all your situations. Taku! I swear my voice was fine for a couple of days there. I don't know what's wrong with it now. Sarika was clinging to me, a little afraid. It was rare to see her look like that. Look like that way. Okay, wow. It was rare to see her look that way. Normally she was optimistic and easygoing. As the man here, I needed to protect her. Alright. I am the Windmaster. People call me... Weasel Scythe? Weasel Scythe. And that translated to... Whirlwind? I don't think Weasel Scythe translates to whirlwind. I don't... Like, a scythe is, like, Grim Reaper thing, and, like, a weasel is a weasel. I'm not 100% sure that that's right, but okay. I saw that her nails were shining emerald green. Did she paint them with luminescent paint? I didn't expect a 7th Praga here. But don't you know that this place is a Salo Paradisi... Paraiso? Paraiso? If you use your powers here... This is above my pay grade. I don't care. I have only one order. To stop anyone from interfering with the plan. I won't let you. This is the weirdest delusion we've ever had, but it's fun as fuck. Kunosato reached for her blade, but before she could... Manifest my wind! A burst of wind blew through the room. We're gonna work on a voice for her, because I'm not getting, like, it's all over the place, but the wind shone emerald green. Slice her apart! No! The emerald wind surrounded Kunosato's body. Her clothes were torn apart. Not just her clothes. Her beautiful skin and long black hair were ripped apart by invisible blades. Red blood flew through the air. This doesn't sound like a positive one. It was supposed to be Serica screaming, and I can't do... Yeah! I can't do a high pitch. I broke my voice, apparently, between last episode and this one. What's going on? What's happening? We're all like, this is fucking weird. Kunosato fell to the ground, covered in blood. Her hand had just managed to grab the blade, but she couldn't fight like that. Kunosato was going to die. Why is this the positive delusion? But all I could do was stand there and watch. If I interfered, I'd meet the same fate. I'd be executioned.
The augurs of the organizers have fallen in power, it seems. Mio Kunosato, did you really think the likes of you could stop me?
Kunosato gritted her teeth and staggered to her feet using the sword as support. That's crazy. You can't do anything like that. She'll just kill you. Miyashiro. Huh? With the last of her strength, Kunosato offered me her sword. Take the sword. I was never able to master it. But perhaps you can. No, I know you can. You can draw out its true power. A holy Idioblade Gladiolus. A word. Some bad Dungeons and Dragons appear. Was created for you, the Chaos Child. For me? My name was the Chaos Child. I mean, it makes sense with the game title, and, you know. Kunosato pushed it into my hands. Her arm's strong, but not strong enough that she was forcing me to take it. Takurumi Hashiro! Fight! Fight? Me? Fight! It makes sense that we'd have this. I'm the hero! Because, like, we've read too many young adult novels, all I'm saying, and watched too many movies. Where everyone dies. And then Kunosato collapsed into my arms. Maybe that's why it was in the anime intro, because we have this delusion in there. Maybe they kept this in there because it's kind of fucking funny. Or it really has something to do with the plot. Are we going to have to, like, go sword wielding? And we're going to... I mean, we are the special, because, let's be real, it's a sci-fi-ish kind of visual novel, and we are the main character, so we are the special. That's how it works. But now we know how to use a sword. Cool. Alright. I grabbed her, and suddenly my hands were slick with red blood. She'd always been so intimidating that I thought she was much taller than me. But her body was so frail and so light. She was just a girl, too. But she'd fought so hard until she ended up like this. I feel like our delusions last longer and longer. It was like, used to be really quick, and now it's like 20 minutes later, and everyone's like... He's like, what? And they're like just staring at you, and they're like, you've just been spaced out for like an hour. It's weird. I had to do it. I didn't know what was going on. But if I didn't stop her, not only Kunosato's life, or my life, but Serica and Ito's lives would be in danger as well. I'd have to protect everyone. I set Kunosato on the ground, and motioned to Serica and Ito to step back. I gripped the sword I'd been given tightly. Then I turned to face the girl in the glasses. Weasel Scythe! Weasel Scythe.
Are you finished, Chaos Child?
I glared at her silently.
If you'd taken up that blade, then by Then by my name, Weasel Scythe, I'll show you no mercy. I'll execution you before you can undergo your true awakening.
I didn't know what to expect. Oh my god, are we going to have a magical girl animation change? Because we need that, and I want it. I need a magical girl transformation. Come on. But if I didn't fight, I would die. I had to fight. I steeled myself and took a step toward Weasel Scythe. I can't take this seriously with a name like Weasel Scythe. Whoa! That's us. Huh? You're in your last year of high school. What the hell are you thinking? I don't know. I feel like I would imagine shit like that too. Like, ninjas came in and I'm all of a sudden Kung Fu Master or some shit. I don't know, you know? Like, look, we all have some Scrubs delusions in our head, okay? I'm not sure Weasel Scythe was a really good pick for a name. But hey, you know what? Shit happens in your imagination sometimes. Sure, any Japanese boy who grew up on manga could fantasize about something like that, but it was all tropes and cliches. Yeah, but that's why they're fun. If it had gotten launched in a magazine, it would have been canceled after 10 weeks. I blame the sword that was just sitting there in the corner. Any boy who saw that oh my god. Any boy who saw that sword would remember his dark history. Dark history! Capitalized. Anyway, this was no time to be thinking about that sword. Okay, I'm seriously a fan of yours. Just listening to your voice makes me feel better. I don't care. As I sat there fantasizing, Kunisada was tearing apart Ito's hopes and dreams. He was having a bad time. More importantly, you. Huh? You, Takuro Miyashiro. Stop acting so bewildered all the time. Right. What is it? Crap, she was really scary. Was the Kay that I'd loved only an image I'd created for myself? Yeah, probably. And was this girl who she really was? Kunisada stood by the wall and glared at me, oblivious to how I felt. That's exactly, this is it. This is right here. You're like, oh my god, they have a celebrity crush on this celebrity. They're like so great and amazing. We're gonna get married. Oh my god. Tom Hiddleston. And then like you meet them and then you're like, they're actually a horrible person. And it ruins your hopes and dreams. It's like, don't meet your idols, kids, right? Actually, Tom Hiddleston just actually seems like a gem from people that have seen him or just anything that comes out of his mouth. So I find it hard to believe that he would ever not be an actual fucking gem of a human being. But I'm just saying, if that were to happen, you'd be like, even if like my dreams that we're gonna get married someday would never come true, because duh, I still just want you to be a gem of a human being. That's the part that hurts the most. You know damn well you're not gonna go like run off to Tahiti with your freaking celebrity crush, but you're just like, but they're a great person. They're a great person. And when you find out they're not a great person, you're like, that hurts the most. Like, because that seems like it could be legitimately real, right? But no, Tom Hiddleston does seem like a gem of a person, so it's okay to just have faith in that. God would be cruel if he ever told us otherwise, is all I'm saying. But this is what's happening here. He's like, Kay is amazing and beautiful and wonderful, and I kind of have this crush on her, and now he meets Kunisada, and he's like, oh, I need to go home and cry. A little. I need to go read Cool Cat Press, make myself feel better. What's your power? Huh? It was so sudden that I didn't know what I'd been asked. Power? Who, me? I told you before, right? That facility was heavily guarded. It wasn't the kind of place an amateur could get inside that easily. I just got lucky. A lot of coincidences happened, and that's how I got inside. Don't hide it. You're using your power to do it. You're wrong. It's the same thing with the way the observation monitors turned on. What was she talking about? I seriously wish that was Sarika, though. I want it to be Sarika, like she's the one who does all that shit. She's always with us when that shit happens. I didn't have any kind of powers. If I had powers, don't you think I'd know? I'd be kind of happy about it. Why am I the last one to know this shit? I have powers? Who else knew? And wait, Kay, I respected you, so try not to disappoint me so much. What evidence do you have for that anyway? When I saw you down there, I figured that either you or he had to be a psychic. Kunisada pointed at me and Ito in turn. This is why I really want Sarah to have powers. She's like, bitch, I'm the one who unlocked the doors. We also got into that hospital the last time with her as children. I'm just saying. Me too? Yeah, but you didn't show any signs of a response after that, so I eliminated you. Response? When you saw the 11th Rorschach. Oh, yeah, he did say he felt uneasy, but it was more like probably a normal person. All the monitors and everything are like, this is creepy. Okay. I don't see it. Like, I'm trying, I see the middle eye, but Kunosato's deep, dark eyes were peering into me. But Takuro Miyashiro, when you saw that image, you reacted violently. No, I mean, the picture's really creepy, right? Of course I did. The way you reacted was different. How did you feel when you saw it? Tell me. The look on her face. Ugh. The feeling I'd experienced when I'd seen the sumo sticker image came back to me. When I looked at it, all the hairs on my body stood on end, and I was attacked by nightmarish delusions from which there was no escape. It was so scary I couldn't help but look away from it. All right, want to look at it again to prove your innocence? No thanks. Kunosato turned toward her computer and opened up a folder. She watched my face carefully as she moved to click on an image inside the folder. No, please stop. I slowly sank to the floor and sat down, sweat pouring from my body. I looked away from the computer. I didn't have the courage to look at that image right now. Enough of this! Sarah interrupted with a yell. It was the first time in ages I'd heard her yell. Now if shit starts breaking, it's her. I looked up to see her standing in between me and Kunosato with her hands on her hips. What do you think you're doing? Are you seriously talking to Taku about psychics like this is an anime or something? You're insane! What? Oh, no way. Taku's seen those stickers at places where people have been killed. Of course they make him sick. When I remember what happened to the Love Hotel, I feel like throwing up too. If something that's stupid is your proof, that makes me a psychic too, doesn't it? No, you're not a psychic. Oh, but I really wanted Sarah to be the one that was opening the doors. I really wanted it to be her. And we were like all around, and she's like, I know, I have unlocking abilities. I can turn switches. Why? Sarika pushed harder. When she thought I was in trouble, sometimes she would turn into a totally different person. She would try to protect me in a different way than Kurusu. Yeah, Kurusu's like your mom, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Hey! Don't. You be nice. You talk nice. Like that. That's perfectly acceptable. Yeah, that's pretty. Talk like that. You pretend I'm talking to you when I'm reading the story, okay? Yeah, Kurusu moms you and is kind of irritating a lot of the time. Again, I understand why she's doing it. I appreciate her character. But again, I don't have to like it. But I like Sarika more. Like, it made me happy and it made me feel better, but... oh, no, wait. Thanks. But can you cool it for a little? What? But... just back off for a bit. Thanks. Really. There was no way I had any kind of psychic power. But I'd already suspected that powers like that were involved in this case somehow. So I wanted to hear what Kunosato had to say. I can't believe it took us till chapter 5 to figure out we had powers. Kunosato looked at me for a moment, questioningly, and then sighed. Then she took out her phone and made a call. The person on the phone didn't seem very happy about it, but they eventually gave their approval. She nodded and hung up the phone, then spoke. She's talking to Shinjo, probably. We're leaving again. Well, this time you won't be in any danger. Don't worry.
Huh! It's awfully late for you to be visiting, but there's still time before we close, so enjoy and relax.
Kunosato took me to Cafe Lax. Or LAX, I'm not sure. We were taken to a big table by the window. Come to think of it, I'd just been here a while ago. Last time it was to listen in on the conversation between Hanai, Arimura, and Shinjo. While I was thinking about that, the person Kunosato had called walked into the cafe. They seemed upset. Is it Arimura? Or Shinjo? It's one of the two. Huh? When I looked up and saw who was there, I gasped.
It's probably late for you to be visiting. Enjoy and relax.
I'll be leaving as soon as I'm done. You're late. Even I have to get ready to go places. And Arimura? It was the girl I was just thinking about. Huh? It's Hina. Hello. So what's going on here, everyone? No clue. Don't ask me. True. What was she inviting Hanaya here for? And, Kunasato, I told you not to get me involved in things just because I'm a helpful tool. We offer each other information. That was the deal. And yet you're the one who's using me, not the other way around. Just sit down. Arimura sighed, glancing at us, and sat down with a frown on her face. There was an awkward moment after we ordered our drinks when no one spoke. So, what's up? Once our drinks arrived, Arimura, of course, was the first one to speak up. I figured it'd be faster to show them than explain. Did you tell them? You couldn't! I decided they could be worth using. Really? I wish you'd cut that out. From the way they were talking, Arimura must have known about these powers as well. And... just stop whining and show them. Show them? Wait, she couldn't mean... No, it's a pain in the butt. I want proof of whether or not Takuru... Wow, I fucked his name up there. Everyone because Sarika keeps calling him Taku, and Takuru is actually not as hard to say anymore than that. We've said it many times. Anyway, whether or not Takuru Miyashiro is a psychic. No way. I told you I'm not. He's a psychic, no doubt about it. Arimura spoke as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Arimura... Hey, is she right, Miyashiro? I can't believe that! I told you, I don't know what she's talking about. I see. It's true that he doesn't know, it looks like. He has no idea. Oh, that's true, she's a lie detector, right? How would you know, Arimura? Oh, you really have no idea? Of course I don't. If I had that power, I would have used it for something. But when you want something to happen, something special always does, right? For example, when you snuck into the Love Hotel. So we're the magic door unlocker. I really wanted it to be Sarika, because we're like... She was like, she's always with us when this happens, you know what I'm saying? The door to the room was locked, so how did you get in? You're lying, it wasn't locked. No, it was, but suddenly it wasn't. Am I wrong, Sari? Huh? Sarika hesitated for a moment and looked at me. Yeah, I did hear a click. Oh, no, See? That's your power. My power? No way. It's likely the ability to cause things to move. It's usually called telekinesis, but its other name, psychokinesis, might be more fitting for you. And that's how you were able to get inside the hospital so easily. Are you serious? Ida was looking at me in shock. Look, news to me. No, wait, that's not right. Sure, when I'd gone to the psych ward in the underground lab, a lot of coincidences has happened all at once. I love the fact that we're not like, no, that makes sense. We're like, what? No, just because doors open around me and I magically got into the psych ward and then we got out and then that actually, just because it all adds up, that's bullshit. Doors that would normally be locked weren't. When I'd gone down to the underground facility from the autopsy room, something had gotten stuck and I'd been able to open the secret door. But there's no such thing as psychic powers. But Miyashiro, you said they might be the key to this case. I did say that, but... Sure, I'd been saying it just a little while ago. But only after being told that I was a psychic did I understand. I hadn't actually really believed it. When I'd said it aloud, I'd acted like it was some brilliant theory, but in my mind I'd still been treating it as fiction. I mean, right? How could I have something so crazy? Can you answer every question I'm about to say with no? Huh? What's this all about? Just do it, okay? Okay. I nodded since it didn't seem like I was going to be given a chance to disagree. Look at our adorable sad Muppet face. Look, we may be a pervy kind of douche, but we're adorable anyway.
You think everyone in your class is an idiot.
No.
But you wish you could be a part of their group.
No.
You've gone to karaoke by yourself.
No. That was just for that thing.
You went to karaoke by yourself but didn't sing a single song.
No.
When you were living with Caruso, you peeked in on her when she was in the bath.
We are a pervert. No.
I see. I understand.
Look at his eyeballs. What? No. Arimura nodded and smiled. You understand what?
First, the first question. Miyashiro, you think everyone's an idiot, don't you?
That's not true.
Next, but you're actually lonely and want to be a part of their group.
No, I'm not interested in their unproductive conversations.
You went to karaoke by yourself, didn't you?
Just to do something for the newspaper club. I didn't sing.
That's a lie.
Huh?
You did sing.
She's calling us out. Like the sad loser we are. We're all a little bit Miyashiro sometimes. We're all like, yeah, no, I mean, I would go to karaoke by myself and sing by myself in my private room. It's okay, whatever. We all sing karaoke alone by ourselves in our house or in the shower, okay? It's no different. We just don't go pay to go rent a room to do it. I'm just saying. I did not sing.
Was it just one song?
I told you I didn't sing.
I see. It was just one song, huh?
Hey, Miyashiro, is that true? You kept insisting you didn't sing, remember? Arimura, how do you know this stuff? It seemed like a waste, so I did sing one song.
Finally, when Caruso was in the bath...
Enough! Stop it! Taku! Sarika's gonna punch me. Sarika pushed down her Gero Froggy strap. It made a noise like the you lose buzzer in a game show. Is this a TV variety show or something? No, that was Yuto playing a trick. He said nobody was inside, so I opened the door, and I looked away quickly so I didn't see anything. It's true! Do you have any idea what hell I went through after that? Just remembering it terrified me. Wait, no! What of it?
Can't you tell? That's my power.
Huh?
I can tell if what someone says is true or false. That's my power.
Actually, being a human lie detector would be kind of cool. She could tell if someone was lying. Although, how would you use that? I mean, I get, you know. And then I finally realized the way Arimura had acted and the things she said.
Hi! I know, you're being a jerk. You're screaming. You need to stop. You need to stop. Birdies outside are your friends. You talk nice to them. Can you say that aloud?
Was that what that was about? Is what she's saying true? No. It could be hot reading or cold reading.
Cold reading. A set of techniques that uses the art of conversation, observation, and intuition to gain information about a target and make them believe that the user has spiritual or psychic powers. Since it is uses in counseling, therapy, police interrogations, and sales, unlike hot reading, it's not necessarily a form of fraud. Hot reading, a method primarily used by self-proclaimed psychics and spiritualists, where agents are used to learn about a target or subject in advance. The psychic then pretends that the information was gained through clairvoyance or mind reading to make it seem as if they have special powers, like when you write on a notepad, like, I want to talk to my dead husband, Carl, because I'm really sad, and then the psychic guy goes like, I'm getting a name. It's a S? Is it Susan, right? Because you wrote it on your fucking piece of paper, Susan. There's a man, Carl. I think he was your husband, and you're like, oh my god, he knows. It's like, you wrote all that down for him, Susan. Are you stupid?
where they have people in the audience, like people milling around talking to you, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, I wrote down that I want to talk to my husband, Carl, but I'm really here to talk to my sister, Amelia, because, like, he's stupid. He's not going to know I'm lying. I'm going to, like, fool him. You got to go in with the lie. Straight up and not tell anyone. Got to go in on your own. And then they won't pick you because they'll know. They'll be like, that smug-ass bitch over there. You're like, fuck you, liar. Because people want to believe. We're like Fox Mulder. We want to believe there's aliens. See, I told you. Like, it was just an electrical. No, the power went out because of ghosts, Scully. It was the power's out on the whole block. Ghosts. Anyway, trust no one, but I want to believe. I love the X-Files. Hot reading? It's when you look things up ahead of time. Actually, just look it up on your own later. Forget it. This is taking too long. Kunosada looked annoyed and bored as she watched our conversation. Show it to him. That's the fastest way. Show him? Here? I don't think anyone but Miyashiro will be able to see it. Maybe, but... Arimura looked toward the ground. Show me something? He's like, please don't take your shirt off. Wait, what was she going to show me? We're going to get a delusion here. She nodded reluctantly and then stood up in front of me. Miyashiro? What? Watch carefully. And then she lifted up her skirt. No, that's not what happened. Huh? She's so cute. What are you going to show me? I almost asked, but then I stopped. Suddenly, she stretched her right hand out to the side. She inhaled slowly, and then she seemed to draw something out of the air. Huh? It's a magic sword. As I sat there, astonished, she pulled something impossible out of empty air. It looks like a fucking butterfly wing. It was warped, yet elegant. That's actually pretty fucking cool. Ugly, yet fascinating. It's kind of pretty, actually. It looks like half a butterfly wing. Like a really... Actually? Yeah, no. Yeah. I was just trying to look at the one, and I was like, yeah, no, it's half a butterfly wing. Because the bottom almost looks like it's like, you know, the two wings if they were almost... You were looking kind of from the side. But no, that's just the way it's built. Okay. Yeah. Cool. That would look really cool as like butterfly wings in on a costume. I'm just saying. It was inorganic and organic at the same time. It was as if it contained every shape in the world. It was a sword? Wasn't this the same thing Kunosato had at her apartment? Yeah, but it doesn't look like that. The shape was different, but it had the same terrible feeling to it. But Arimura had just pulled it out of thin air. How did you do that? Arimura looked unhappy as she saw my shock. So you can see it. Huh? Oh, huh? What's she talking about, Taku? What do you mean a sword? You two can't see it? Sarika and Ito both shook their heads. That's impossible. It was huge. How could they not see it? This game has actually been fun and really cool, and like it's just getting really like weird but cooler. like I am enjoying this. I quickly looked around the room, but no one else, not the customers or the employees, was looking at the thing in Arimura's hands. They're just wondering why she's standing there like, woo! They're like, what is she doing? No, they couldn't see it. That settles it. What do you mean? What Arimura is holding can prove that someone is a psychic. It's called a dye sword. It makes sense. It really is a sword. A dye sword? I'd heard her use that word before. I didn't realize that she was talking about this, though. I mean, it could be D sword because it's D-I, but then wouldn't it just be D? I don't know. I could be pronouncing it wrong, but whatever. Only psychics can see dye swords in that state. In other words, if you can see it, it's beyond any reasonable doubt that you're a psychic. Kunosada's cold voice dropped even lower than usual. But I've never used any kind of power like that. But it's true. I couldn't believe it. So much was going through my head that I couldn't think. So the sword that we end up having in the anime intro that I saw wasn't the one in Kunisato's room. It was a we make our own finally. Oh, cool. Neat. Why? Are we going to have to fight giant robots? This is getting weirder. I love this. I looked over at the dye sword again. Arimura fiddled with it and snorted. Looks so cool.
Well, since we're both gigglomaniacs, let's get along, I guess.
Gigglomaniacs? I remember Kunasato using that word before, too. And that's what we call psychics. Gigglomaniacs. That just... I love our face! We seriously have a face, and it's just like Garfield did some shit, and now we're being penalized for it because we're John. Huh? What? What is happening? I love our face so much right now. It's hilarious. The look on it is so good. I'm gonna die. Just his questioning eyebrows, too. Doesn't matter what you call them. Still can't believe it. My psychokinesis, you called it? That's unscientific. Yeah, psychokinesis is simply the word I use to make it easier for you to visualize. There's actually a more scientific concept that exists. Scientific? I looked at Arimura's sword skeptically. Scientific? That?
Oh, I think you're wasting your time, Kunasato. Even if you explained it, he wouldn't understand a word. And by the way, neither did I when she explained it to me.
Don't think I'm like you. I'm actually... Right. I was gonna be like, I'm normal. We don't want to be a normie, right? Damn it. She was pissing me off. You know what's so funny? Kurusu has been like, you're just a normal teenage boy. And we're like, I am not a normal teenage boy. I'm not. And now we're being told we're not a normal teenage boy. And we're like, but I'm a normal teenage boy. We are now like, wait, I just got proof I was normal. I wasn't normal, but now I want to be normal. Dude, we can't be happy with anything. Our angry face is adorable. I'm sorry. It's like you just want to pat him on the head, like, it's okay, Doug. Like, yeah, you're angry and you're glaring, but it's not working. You just want to pinch his cheeks. You're so cute when you're angry and trying to pretend you're normal. When 2 days ago you wanted to be not normal. You're funny. Damn it. She was pissing me off. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. You don't need to understand it. What you do need to understand is this. Don't use your gigglomaniac power like you're in a cartoon. It's not that simple and it's not that pleasant. Cartoon! A phrase primarily used to refer to TV animations that are shown in Europe and America. Cartoons consist mostly of simple good versus evil stories using characters from American comics, as well as humor programs targeted for younger audiences. In Japan, you can watch cartoons on a dedicated paid cable TV channel. It's different than anime. What's different? The ability of a gigglomaniac is, put simply, the ability to change their delusions into reality. Well, we keep using our delusions. Change their delusions into reality? What was she talking about? That wasn't scientific at all. Have you ever heard of the Dirac Sea? Dirac Sea? Dirac Sea? I've never heard of it. Well, of course you haven't. Okay. The Dirac Sea? Sarika started to fidget on the sofa. She probably couldn't follow what we were talking about at all, but she could tell that I was nervous. That's a concept from quantum mechanics, isn't it? Oh, I'm surprised. I didn't expect a mere high school boy to know that. For some reason, a lot of people on the Japanese internet loved relativity theory and quantum mechanics. Wow, I can't read. Schrodinger's cat, for example, had been discussed so many times by now that it was considered an embarrassment to even bring it up. Look at that! Smug look on his face was so funny. So I knew a little. It's defined as a vacuum filled with negative energy, right? That vacuum is called a Dirac Sea. Dirac, whatever. That's right, the direct sea is a world filled with negative energy. Kunosada looked at Arimura's hands as she held the dai sword. And then Arimura smiled a little wickedly. And this? What's it see? You use it in this sword to make your delusions reality. That's called a real boot, I suppose. You use it in this sword to make your delusions reality. Supposedly. A real boot? The dai swords are shaped like weapons, but that's not all they are. They're terminals that let you affect the direct sea and function as a pipe between it and reality. By using these terminals, Galomaniacs can draw out more negative energy than should be able to exist in reality. So, like, this is kind of like then your delusions, when you do all positive delusions, you're bringing up positive energy and you'll make good things happen, which is why then you get good endings, and you do all negative ones. Then, in accordance with the whole theory, pairs of particles and antiparticles are created, and they become errors which affect the dead spots of others' brains. Dead spots of the brain? Dead spots of the brain. By dead spots, I refer to the blind spots in the visual area of the human brain. Affecting these areas means transmitting your own delusions into them so that the target sees your delusion. And the target experiences that delusion as a completely real phenomenon. But that's just a hallucination, isn't it? It's no different than hypnosis. Hypnosis? Really? Then what if every single person around you recognizes that delusion as reality? Every single person? That's right. And what if by everyone, I meant every single person in Shibuya? Or what if that spread to everyone in Tokyo, then everyone in Japan, and then everyone in the world? Who would tell you that it wasn't real? That's mind-boggling. At that point, your delusion is neither fiction nor a hallucination. It becomes reality. That's why we call it real booting. But that's impossible. There's no way you could alter reality like that. I rubbed my head with my fingers, trying to make some sense out of all of this. Let's say that hypothetically, and just hypothetically, mind you, I was one of these gigalomaniacs. It's impossible for a delusion to affect the real world, like opening a locked door. All of the researchers, including us, thought the same thing at first, but we were overly optimistic. What? The delusions of the gigalomaniacs and the shared reality they created are capable of altering the physical world itself. That's what makes them so dangerous. That's what makes them so dangerous. And then Arimura just magically appears in the background with her giant sword, smiling like a psychopath. Hee! Stroking her butterfly sword. I looked at Arimura's sword, then back at Kunosado. Arimura was still smiling as she held the sword in front of me. I couldn't tell if the light it gave off was holy or evil, but for a moment it was so beautiful that I shivered. Oh, perfect place to stop. Okay, we're a little under time, but I'm going to stop here, and we'll continue October 11th, 2015 Sunday, and just let all that sink in. Like, what? It's amazing. This game's getting better. It's kind of interesting. It's fucking crazy. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm having a good old time. Like, there's times where you play games and they start to, like, you're like, okay, you're just reading through, and you're a couple hours, you're like, this is like a lull. Like, we're getting a lot of background information, and then, like, whatever. And it's necessary, but sometimes it gets a little, like, bland. You're like, I feel like for a couple of hours, it's just a little boring, and there's like, it's kind of stagnant, and then something will happen, and then, like, but this one has been, like, kind of nonstop. Like, as soon as you're like, okay, we've been doing the same thing for, bam, something else happens, and you're like, okay, and then something else happens, and you're like, this game is all over the place. It's great. It's kept me very entertained this whole entire time, so thumbs up. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.